Neuzeller Schwarzer ABT.
And remember, life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Fucking hell, what a mouthful that is. Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. This is the Neuzeller Schwarzer ABT, or ABT as it's known. There's a reason it's called ABT or ABT, and that's because the Neuzeller Klosterbrauerei is an abbey. It's a 12th century abbey that has been brewing beer commercially for 400 years. And it's got an interesting history, and it's got some interesting beers as well. The history, where it's situated, is in East Germany, right on the Polish border. And as I say, it's been a 12th century monastery that's been brewing beer for 400 years. Now, with the turmoil of the 20th century, especially after World War II, obviously the eastern side of Germany came under communist ruled from the Soviet Union, and they had quite lenient rules on brewing beer. They didn't enforce the Reinheitsgebot as strictly as they did in West Germany. Of course, 1989, the wall came down and the country was unified. This is where it started to get sort of complicated for this brewery, because this beer contains brewing sugar and it contains other ingredients which don't conform to the Reinheitsgebot, and they weren't allowed to call it beer. And during the 90s and 2004 especially, they went to court to try and get this nullified and be allowed to call their product beer. They do specialise in adding stuff to their beer, and they produce something called an anti-aging beer, would you believe? Now, that's a bold claim. The reason they call it anti-aging beer, and that's what it translates to, that it's not this beer, it's another beer that they produce. But it contains algae, which is some form of seaweed, which is supposed to produce antioxidants in the body. It also contains bioflavonoids, which are used for detoxing and stuff like that. So they're making this claim that it's an anti-aging beer. Personally, I wouldn't have any of that, to be honest. If you don't want to age, fucking don't drink beer, because that will age you rapidly. But this stuff, it doesn't make any such claims. This is a Schwazer beer, or black beer. It says it down there, Das Schwarzbier. It's a traditional German style. I think they also do it in the Czech Republic as well. It's not a Dunkel, it's more like a porter. And I've tasted a couple of German Schwarzbiers, and they've been quite nice actually. The Kostrica, which is owned by, I think, Bitburger. That's quite nice, and it's the most popular black beer in Germany. But this stuff I haven't heard of before, and as I say, they are based in East Germany. Now, I've not really had much experience of East German beer. Most of the stuff I've tried has come from the West or from South, or Bavaria obviously, but the one brewer that did stand out from East Germany was the Neuzeller Brewery, which are really good. They do some fantastic beer. I really like their Weiss beer, that was good, and also their Burmisch beer, which was really nice. That reminded me of a cross between a Czech lager and a Pilsner. Really nice, I really enjoyed that. But this one is a new one on me, and it's the first one I've had from Neuzeller. Never seen them before. This is the first time. My mate Norby brought this over from Germany, and obviously this is available all over Germany, but I've never seen it before. So let's investigate what this beer is. Now, this is a 500ml bottle. It's a 3.9% beer. It yeah, it says it on the back. They're calling it invert syrup. So invert sugar, invert syrup. It's basically brewing sugar or a sweetener that is used in the brewing process. Not many, well, as I say, I've rarely come across any German brewers that use this. It's quite common in Belgian beer, even the syrup is as well, and it's also quite common in British beer. Some of the more specialised beers that you get from, certainly Sam Smiths use it quite a lot. I think they use the sugar more, but syrup is used quite a lot in macro brewed beers, and to be honest, it doesn't taste that great. So I'm a little bit hesitant to try this because I'm used to German beer tasting really good. There's been a few nasty German beers, I will say that. I've literally just this minute uploaded the Holsten Pils, and I thought that was going to be a real stark contrast between the two, the Pils that's brewed over here and the stuff that's brewed in Germany, but to be honest, there wasn't much in it. They both weren't that good, to be honest. But anyway, let's see if this is. God, that is cold. It's just come out of the fridge and it's been cold today, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with the weather. On Saturday I was walking the dogs in a t-shirt and I had to wrap up today when I took him out. That little fucker Percy ran off. I had to go running after him. I thought I was going to have a fucking coronary. Little bastard. He will walk off with anyone if he thinks they got food. That was the cat, by the way, just in case you were wondering what it was. Right, let's get it into ye olde glass. On the video, there's a video of a bloke testing this from the actual Abbey, and he's using one of them Rastal glasses. I'm not going to use that. This is a 500ml bottle, so I'm just going to pour it into this and see what gives. Now, ooh, blimey, I can smell that from here. Wow. Heavily roasted malt. I'm not getting any sweetness from it though. I thought there'd be a lot of the that syrupy type aroma you get from certain beers. Certainly from the Sam Smiths beers. Wow, look how dirty that glass is. You can see all the bubbles sticking to the side. Oh, I need to fucking sort out that bloody dishwasher tablets. I'm dumping all them ones, because the ones I got from Lidl, they are fucking useless. They leave scum all over the dark coloured plate. We've got some dark coloured plates, and when I take them out, there's little bits of it looks like salt or something. I don't know what the fuck it is, but yeah, and I imagine that's what's on the side there. I should have washed this out before I poured the beer in. Oh well, you live and learn, don't you? That actually looks quite nice. Ignore the bubble sticking to the side. I mean, that is really bad, and this is not the first video I've done. If I was a critic watching me review this, I'd be fucking screaming blue murder because of the state of the glasses. So again, I do apologise. No excuse for that. Aromas. Slightly sweet, very subtle roasted malt, a hint of coffee, and it's sort of reminded me of like a craft brewed porter. Sometimes you get that subtle, I don't know, it's like a cross between coffee and roasted malt, but it's a little bit strange with that brewing sugar in there. It tastes almost, well, it smells, I haven't tasted it yet, but it smells almost macro brewed, which again, it goes back to what I was saying about the brewing sugar and the syrup especially. A lot of macro brewers use that. In fact, the Holsten Pils that had that in there, the Holsten Pils that's brewed over here in the UK by Carlsberg, fucking dog shit. There you go, in a glass. Let's get it down the hatch. Post, as they say in Germany. Oh, that is really sweet. Jesus. Oh, I don't know whether I like this. This is bordering on the sickly sweet. I don't know whether it's me, but it's my first beer of the day. It is 8:30 in the evening. And the first mouthful, I don't know whether it's, what they call it, psychosomatic or whatever, but I was expecting sort of bitter roasted malt, but it's not. It's really sweet. And I'm not sure I like it. There isn't enough of the roasted malt on this to make me really want to drink this. I'm not a fan of sweet stuff, to be honest. I haven't got a sweet tooth, and I don't like sweet beers. You know, you get some of them, what do they call them, pastry stouts and stuff like that. Oh Jesus, that was what I was trying to get across when I said it smells like a craft brewed porter or something like that, because they bung all kinds of shit into porters, these craft brewers. And again, it's why I don't really review craft beer, because I don't know, I just like my beer to taste traditional. I don't like gimmicky beer. And something, I'm saying this is gimmicky beer, this has been brewed for a while, but oh, it's really sweet. And it's sugary sweet as well. That's all the way through. You've got a seam of sweetness all the way through. Vague hints of roasted malt and coffee on the finish, but it's almost cloying sweetness. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some Belgian beers that have invert sugar in them, but they've also got their lovely yeasty esters with banana and clove, which balance it out. And yes, sometimes the sweetness is a little bit cloying, but it's not like that. That is just sugary. It's like somebody's got a spoonful of, I don't know, not refined sugar, but some kind of sweetener like stevia or something like that, and put it in there. That's what it tastes like. I know it's not. It's invert syrup. There's just way too much of it. Sam Smiths do use it quite a lot, but they balance it out with their malt, and it's not the main focus of the beer. This is just too sweet, and I have to say, I'm not enjoying it. I don't think I am going to drink all of this. This could potentially be a sink job. Now, don't get me wrong, if you like sweet beers, you might like this, but no, this isn't for me. I'm trying to find the good in this, and I can't, unfortunately. Now, if you look at this brewery, they do a lot of sweet beers. They do a lot of the fruit flavoured beers, cherry beer. I think they do a strawberry beer, all sorts of gimmicky type beers. I don't know what the fuck is going on in there, but as I said, the anti-aging beer as well, fuck knows what that tastes like. But this, I don't really like it. Nah, too sweet. I'm not going to try and convince myself I like it. That is too sweet for me. So, what is the verdict on Neuzeller Klosterbrauerei Schwarzer ABT? Just one word: sweet, and not in a nice way. It's just a little bit too sickly for me. The malt character on there is just, if there is any, it's just drowned out by that invert syrup that's been put into the beer, and that just dominates, and it doesn't make it, in my opinion, very nice. Now, don't get me wrong, some people may like that, but I think if you like your genuine stouts and your porters, you're not going to get any of the flavours, even though it does look like a reasonable, well, head's dissipated now, that's probably due to the dirty glass, but I don't really like it, to be honest. It's not my thing. I just don't. I can tolerate some sugar in beer, but when the dominating flavour is that, it's why I don't like them pastry stouts and 11% pastry stouts. The one that springs to mind is that marshmallow one from who's the Welsh craft brewers, Tiny Rebel. But that, I've tried that 2 years ago and I'll never forget that. And then of course you've got the pinnacle of shit beer, which is Black Sheep, the pineapple milkshake. Oh, fucking don't get me started. Pineapple milkshake IPA. Oh, fuck off. When you're brewing stuff like that, you know you've lost your way. I'm not sure how popular this stuff is in Germany, but I imagine if somebody from Bavaria went to Neuzelle and had some of this, they would probably throw their guts up and say, take me back to Bavaria, because these fuckers can't brew beer. I'm not saying they can't brew beer, that's harsh, but this one, nah, not my taste. I'm going to give that a 2 out of 10. And no, I hate doing that to German beer, but if it's shit beer, it's shit beer. And in my opinion, that is just a shit beer. I don't like it. It's too sweet. It's a bit gimmicky. Certainly couldn't session it. I know it's 3.9%, but nah, I don't like it. Not for me. And remember, I'm drinking this shit, so you don't have to.